be able to run the football. And you got to be able to do that to take some pressure off of your passing game. Last year, the offensive line, we talked about it, they were elite in pass protection. They were. I mean, you looked at some of the pockets, and outside of maybe one game, they did a really nice job of protecting Garrett Nussmeier, giving him the opportunity to step up in the pocket. It has to go up in the run game. And look, you had 4 offensive linemen drafted off that offensive line last year. So a very talented group. They got to figure it out. How, like, whatever it is, schematically, the running backs being able to read it, just a lot of, like, and look, Caden Durham was a freshman, had a hell of a freshman year. He was banged up most of the year. I believe it was like he had a broken toe or like 2 toes or something crazy like that, and he still went out there and played at a really high level. Mm-hmm. But that part of it has to go up because you got to take some pressure off the passing game to not have to go out there and feel like they got to do it through the air. And again, Caden Durham was good last year, 753 yards, over 5 yards, almost 5.5 per carry, had an 86-yarder, 6 touchdowns. Josh Williams was kind of Mr. Consistent. He came in. He gave you 482 yards on the ground as well. But it was like you got to be able to dictate the pace of the game sometimes, impose your will on the defense and say, no, we're running the football, and there's nothing you can do about it. They didn't have that last year.
Yeah, that was the most frustrating part of the season last year watching. Just from home or the stands, wherever we were watching, it was, yeah, I get it. Like in this with our offense, with our skill set that we have, yeah, we're going to throw the ball. It's going to be a throw first situation. That's what we're going to, like when the back's against the wall, that's what we're going to lean to. And then we're going to throw you off balance with some running game here and there. But the frustrating part for all of us was when we had to run, when we got in 3rd and short, and lots of 4th and shorts, and we had to run. When you told the defense, I know we're running, you know we're running, let's just see who wins. We didn't win. We just didn't do it. Yeah. And so you can say, you can call it a lot of things. You can call the running, the woes in the running game, lack of creativity. We need to add this and that. And we can get into those X's and O's about what we feel like they should do in the running game from a schematic standpoint. But at the end of the day, when it's 4th and 1, there's an attitude that's involved. You have to, the offensive linemen have to be taught they have to get the first down with their body if they want any chance of the running back getting the first down. That's what we used to always teach in the goal line. That's what all of our coaches, whether it was Jimbo, Coach Stud, Les, Croton, whatever it was telling the offensive linemen if it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 on the goal, you have to score. You have to score, finish in the end zone if you want any chance. And it just was very disappointing last year from that standpoint. I don't know if it was just the physical matchup. Maybe, obviously the offensive line, they were more talented at pass blocking, and that's why they got a bunch of them playing in the next level because that's what NFL linemen, they'd always used to come to me and be like, I don't really care about run blocking. That's run block for show, pass block for dough, buddy. Like, they didn't bring me here. They didn't draft me in the 1st round to come here and run block.
Y'all are all turds.
Sorry,
leaving us out there on an island to do it all by ourselves.
But, yeah, we got to get better. This year, we got to be better running the ball, whether it's 3rd and short, 4th and short, or just 1st and 10. We have to be able to threaten. If we can't threaten, because play action is such a big part of this offense, and it needs to be if we want to be able to make the run we want to.
Last year, real quick, before we take a break, LSU ran the football 346 times. 49 were outside zone. That's 14%. Inside zone, 161 of the 346. So about half the time, 47%, when you were running the football, it was inside zone. You ran only 8 powers all year long. 2% of your runs. Now, you did run counter a bunch. 22% of your runs came from counters, which you ran 77 times.
And I'm basing all this on memory of watching the game last year, watching all the games last year, probably with a few pops in me at the time too. But I felt like you said 47% on inside zone on our running plays. I would say the first half of that game, first half of the season, it was probably like 75, 80%.
Yep.
Now they started sprinkling in some new schemes later on in the
Yeah, you saw the
season.
counter. I mentioned that was one of your bigger runs.
But it was
actually
more
your
towards the
second-leading
end of the
run.
year, right?
Yep.
Beginning of the season, it was inside, outside, inside, outside.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It was that kind of deal. And that's the difficult part about going fast as an offense and running muddle huddles or no huddles, and just the new day and age in football is there's not that many schemes you can get to. Like that's what we used to always say on offense. Like if we go fast, the defense doesn't have a time or a chance to like get into these intricate like walk around defenses. They don't have a lot. They can't, bluff you a lot. They have to run pretty much base. But it also affects you because you kind of have to run base. But you see teams doing it all the time. They're running counters, they're running powers, they're running ISOs, they're running different things in that situation. So I'm sure it's been a point of emphasis. It has to be.
Yep.
Like they can't sit there and look at the film last year and say, "Yep, let's rinse and repeat that, baby."
What was y'all's code word for counter? You talking about like
That's
muddle
a good
huddle?
question. That's a good question. I don't know.
For us, Liddell, for Chuck Liddell was left.
All right.
Shamrock for Ken Shamrock was right
I like that.
because it's counter punchers.
I had to learn a lot of offenses, buddy. I can't remember.
All right.
All of them. I don't remember the run plays either. The run plays stink.
I knew that was coming as well.